Welcome to the world of 12th standard, in which we are going to focus on fourth unit. Into the fourth unit, we have find out the fourth unit started from history of novel. History of novel is considered as a drama as genre also. So what about this history of novel? Novel plays a very important role into the English literature. Novel is very important only for getting new imagination about each and everything which is just related with the story frankly. So that's why it is important to discuss or after that think about from where the novel is was started there. So that's why we are going to discuss about that history of the novel into the given lesson. So what about English literature? 18th century has gifted many things to the Indian literature, especially literature of the world also. At that time, into the 18th century, two things are developed. First of all, the periodical essay, and second is novel. So, novel word derived from Italian word, that is the novella. Novella is called new also, so that's why we have to consider that word begin with yan or novel. It derived from the novella, it means novel there. So this is the one of the things which is very important only for the novel, that novel has its own meaning, that is the new. The reader one can get new things from the novel, so that's why also you have to consider it is the meaning of the novel. So what about the world's first novel? So Tale of Zinji, which was written in 1010. So it was considered the world first novel which was famous at that time very well. So what about the remaining things about the novel also? So let us discuss about that from the given textbook. So little bit information about the novel is given there. Many novels were written into that time. So what about that remaining novel which are given there? These also are very important. The European novel is often said to begin with Don Quixote by Spanish writer Miguel de Cervantes, which was published in two parts between 1605 and 1615. In the 18th century, the appearance of newspaper and magazines attracted a large number of readers from the middle class. These new readers had little interest in romances and tragedies, which were appreciated by the upper class. Thus, need for a new type of literature arose that would express the new idea of the 18th century. The 18th century new literature was characterized by the spirit of the realism and genial of romantic features like enthusiasm, passion, and imagination. The foreground for the novel was prepared by all these factors. After 1740, a novel originated as the literary form in England. Increase in the trade and commerce along with the industrial revolution had given rise to the middle class. A class of people had engaged to occupy an elite status. The realistic picture of everybody's life and everyday's life and problem of common people depicted in the novel appealed to the newly educated class and was regarded by them as respectable reading material. Thus, novella's form appears to have been designed for both to voice the aspirators of the middle and lower classes and meet their longings. The spread of the machines could provide a time to the educated middle class people. So these are the important things about the given novel, etc. The Pilgrim Progress by John Bunyan, which was written in 1678. Then Orunoku by Afra Bain, which was written in 1688, initiated the plenteous and colorful tradition of English novel. So these all things which are important into the English literature which is based on novel writing, etc. So people always engage themselves in reading purpose, etc. You know that at that time many entertainment facilities were not available, so people try to spend their maximum time in reading purpose. So that's why they always try to buy or after that took the books from any other market, etc., which is based on the story there, and they spend their lot of time there. So that's why only for the engaging them into the reading, this is the one of the best option, that is to write only the novel writing, etc. So this way people engross themselves to read the novel. So it was the new material only for engaging themselves, only for spending their time into the reading purpose of this novel, because they were entertained by these all the novels, etc. So this is about all the information about the novel writing, which is based on particular the writing related to the foreign culture, and after that foreign countries, etc. But what about the condition of this novel in India? This also is given there. So what about Indian scenario? Means the information of Indian novel. So in India also many people wrote the important novel also here. But what are the first novel which was considered here? First Indian novel, Raj Mohan's Wife by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. So it is also very important thing about that, that Indian people to the interest in English language and wrote many novel in English language. So they are called at that time nationalists. Okay, the people give number of the matches from the novel which is just related with the nation, etc. So that's why they are called the nationalist, in which four character one can found there. So first of all, which one? Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, then Mulk Rajanand, then R.K. Narayan, then Raja Rao. So these are all important people who wrote or who spent their time to write down the novel and give this gift to the world of English literature. So remaining information about the Indian scenario is also is given there. So let us discuss about that. So what about the Indian scenario about this all the novel which are given there? Instead of this all of the writer, we have the remaining writers also who wrote number of the novel there in English language. So who are they? Novelists like Anita Desai, then Nayantara Sahgal and Arun Joshi and Manohar Malgaonkar changed the current of Indian English novel through their works. Amitav Ghosh, Vikram Seth and Upamanyu Chatterjee ameliorated the Indian novel in English by adding new features to it. Recent years have witnessed the dazzling performance by Indian novelists like Salman Rushdie, then Arvind Agida, then Arundhati Roy, then Kiran Desai and Kiran Nagarkar. The tradition of Indian English novel has undergone a vital change since its birth, and it has undoubtedly be very bright future. So let us discuss about the word that is novel. What about the novel? So recently we discussed about that novel word come from Italian word, that is the novella. So what about the novella? So listen very well about the novella. A novella word originated from Italian word novelle. It is a type of prose fiction which is shorter than full-length novel and longer than short stories. It is well structured. It is short narrative, often satiric or realistic in tone. It usually focuses on one incident or issue with one or two main characters and takes place at a single tradition. Some of the famous novellas in English are The Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, then The Turn of the Screw by Henry James, next Billy Budd by Herman Melville, then Death in Venice by Thomas Mann, then Seize the Day by Saul Bellow, and Pearl by John Steinbeck. So these are the important novella which were written at the time of the starting to write down this novella into the world of English literature. So now later discuss about that which precaution people have to take while writing the novella. So first of all, the first point is given there. Elements of novel, that is the theme. People always try to think about the theme. Theme means central idea while writing the novel. If people like the theme, so the book was sold into the large amount there. So that's why people have to focus on the central idea, because it should be liked by the people so that they engross themselves into the reading of the novel. Next is plot. Plot means story or causes of the event. Number of events were there, and for that one of the cause or one of the reason must be there. So for that story or cause of the event is very important. While you are writing the novel, you have to focus on the plot also. How can we imagine this novel without any character? So third point is character. So while writing the novel, we have to take the many character. So which are the essential factor while writing the novel there. Then what was the setting? Setting means time and place when the story took place. So it is just called only the background in which the story take place. We have the number of the novel. which has modern background, then ancient background. Okay, so these are all the things which are important there. So that's why we have to think about the setting while writing the novel also. The next is most important, that is the conflict. Conflict means number of the groups also into the novel, which plays by the particular of the character, but conflicts means some of the things also happen between them which are good or which are bad. So conflict means actual the struggle between the opposite forces which are very important into the novel. So think about that conflict and shows to the people the proper way to read this novel or to take the interest into the novel. If the conflict is very interesting, so people took lot of interest to reading this all of the novel, etc. What about the next one? That is the last one. Okay, so this one is very important, that is a language or style. You know what that? If the language used by the writer, which must be lucid, which must be attractive, which must be figurative, okay, and style of the language is very important there. So it must be there that all the narration system is very good, means the character dialogue between the character which must be interesting, etc. So focus on the language style while writing or while composing these all of the narration, etc., which always happen between the character. So these are all important elements of the novel which we have to consider while writing the novel. So what about the types of novel? In which first of all, first, that is the realistic, means which is based on the real situation, etc. Then picaresque, this word from come from the picaro means rogue. Okay, you know that many people have the two side, first is dark and second is light. So these meaning suggests with the help of the picaro. Then some of the novel indicate the historical situation which is based on history, so that's why it is called what is the historical novel also. Then epistolary, this was also come from the epistola means a letter. Some novel one can find into that novel some of the letters also are given there, so which is based on the letter, so that's why it is called epistolary novel. There's some of the autobiographical, in which many people play the role for themselves, so that's what is called the autobiographical. Then allegorical, it is called, or it has its own meaning, in which one can find that here the meaning more than one level of the meaning one can find there. It means one novel has a different kind of meaning. People have to just find out which is the actual meaning of the given novel, which one is suggested by the writer, etc. Then dystopian, it is just based on the science fiction. Then psychological novel, and do you know about that psychological novel based on any psychology, etc. Then stream of consciousness. And what about the last one? That is the Bildungsman, it is just based on the fictional biography of the people or autobiography of the people, which is totally fictional. Fictional, do you know about that? Which is based on the imagination, not the real fact, etc. So into the lesson we focus on first of all history of novel, in which we talk about the 18th century. In 18th century, or 18th century gave us two things only for the spending our time, only for the reading purpose. First of all, the periodical essay, and second is novel. But people took more interest into the novel. So what about the history of the novel? These also are given there. And what about the condition of novel in Indian literature, Indian English literature? These also are given there. Then we talk about the element of the novel, in which 6 points are very important there. Then what about the types of novel? One can just write all kind of the novel which is just given there. And how many types of the novels also are given there? 10 types of the novels also are given there. So why it is important to just discuss about this history of novel? Because some of the question based on the history of the novel is given there. So read down this all the information which is given into the textbook only for getting the detailed information. Otherwise I also have given some of the little information about that into the given video. So it is important to spend your time to reading this all about the history, and after that history of the novel especially here. Okay, so spend your time there also. Okay, now remaining 3 lessons are based on the novel. So later discuss about this all of the lesson into the next video. Thank you.